Intro button. Steph, thanks for coming
Hey,
on.
thank you for having me. What a cool intro. That woke me up right there. I like
Yeah, I
it.
know. Same. I needed it, even though I'm like drinking coffee out of my Ghouls Gone Wild
I need a Ghouls Gone Wild. Like that's so funny that I dated the
podcast
creator of Girls
mug.
Gone Wild and, helped film some of those. So this is necessary.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, I did. He's on my podcast and we caught up, Joe Francis. We dated in 2004, so a long time ago. And then I helped him
Yeah.
film for some of the VHSs.
Oh, that's awesome. I watched your interview with Jason Hook the other day.
Yeah, I love him. He's so nice. Like, I interviewed him
Yeah.
with Five Finger Death Punch in 2009 and 2010, and then that's cool, he started his own band now, Flat Black, that I'm really digging.
Yeah. Yeah. Same. Yeah. He seems like a really very mellow, chilled dude.
Yes, I think he partied hard back in the day, and I feel like he's mellowed out a lot, even though he's in Vegas. He's just more quiet, kept to himself, but I'm excited. He's gonna tour and come up to SAC, and so I wanna hang out with him and see him again. I'm just excited. I took such a break. I wanna reconnect with all of these people that I've interviewed and hung out with that are just awesome people.
Yeah. I would love to have him on. There's like a bunch of people that I would love to have on here. It's just a matter of them saying, either replying or saying yes or no to things.
And I'm sure you've got this too. I'll get a lot of yeses and then I go to schedule and they drop off. That's my biggest thing, right? Like a lot of big bands said, yeah. And then I'm like, okay, here's the schedule or the openings, and they haven't got back to me. So I've circled back. I think I circled back to Tonic and Live for the third time yesterday because both of them have
Yeah.
said yes, but then they won't give me a day. So you just got to keep circling back, and it'll happen.
Yeah. And you don't want to hassle them all the time because
Yes.
I'm sure that they've been hassled so many fucking times, you
100.
know.
It's only if
They-
you give me that I really wanna come on the show, then once a week. Also, I think they're called Lakeview. They're like a new country rock band, and they've exploded recently on Octane XM, and so I hit them up. They wanna come on. You know, it's hard too, it's summer here in the States, so it's really busy. Everyone's on their summer tours. So also
Yeah.
managers like Chevelle, they're gonna come on in the fall when things slow down and this touring's done. So fall and winter, you and I could get a lot more, even though it's not your time. In a couple months, you're gonna probably get a lot more yeses or openings.
Yeah, yeah. I always trying to lean towards the end of the year because, sometimes that's when I sort of have a little bit of that tour break leading before maybe Christmas and the New Year.
Yeah, then there's downtime, they're home and maybe they'll come by, and I love this podcast. I've just never done this till a couple months ago. I used to have a cameraman. I had to
Yeah,
meet you at a restaurant or your hotel or wherever it was or the festival and set up a whole cameraman on tripod, and then they could be late, I could be running behind, and it was so many things that could go wrong, and now it's just like,
mm,
"Dude, here's a link, man. I'll chill here on my computer, join me when you can." Like, it's just so easy to do the virtual thing.
yeah. Oh, yeah, much easier. But then it's also awesome to meet people in person because you actually
For
get to know what they
sure.
are in real life.
I'm having
And
withdrawals, so I should be doing Aftershock Media all 4 days. There's like 100 bands in Sacramento, and I'm really excited, so
ooh,
fingers crossed. I'm in the finals
yeah,
right now. I'll find out in September if I get to do media backstage, and if I do, I can't wait to do in person again, and there's just so many bands that I love that I really wanna interview, so I'm waiting to hear back for
that's
sure.
fuck yeah. So you've been doing media for a very long time.
Yeah, I started in 2004 in college, and it was more just for fun. Like, The Used came by my college campus, so I got to interview them on my little tiny college radio station, and then I moved down to LA in 2008, and that's when it got like, "Oh, I actually wanna do this." I was writing for Blabbermouth and SMN News and different places, and I started my little YouTube channel on the side because 'cause I'm like, "I have access through all these, news outlets to these bands, and people don't wanna just read an article. They wanna see the band in the flesh. So that's when I was
Yeah.
like, I should start my little YouTube channel and see if they wanna come on my silly. There was like 100 followers in 2008, and I made, like, business cards on Vistaprint, and I'm like, "Do you guys wanna come on my channel? You gotta
Yeah.
start somewhere."
Yeah, that's awesome. Do you remember your first interview?
Yeah, it was Tommy McClintock of UFO. So that I don't know if you guys know, it's like
Ah,
a
no.
70s, yeah, rock band UFO that
Yeah. Who
he
doesn't
was
know?
so nice. Yeah. And I found out through a friend that he was teaching guitar at Guitar Center in nearby where I live in Northern California. And I'm like, no effing way. So I went into Guitar Center and just said, Tommy, this is so random. I want to interview you, but I presented it like I've done a ton of interviews. This is like one of a million. I wasn't trying to tell him like I actually don't have anything on the channel. And
Yeah.
he was so nice. We did like a 30-minute in his tiny little Guitar Center teaching cubicle. And
Oh
I
yeah.
never told him to this day, unless he watched one of these interviews, that that was my first.
Oh really?
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
how nervous were you?
Very, very
Yeah.
nervous because even though I wasn't a UFO fan, my parents were. I obviously Googled them. I was like, wow, they've toured the entire world. Eddie
Yeah.
Trunk has talked about them a lot on VH1 That Metal Show and his own
Love
podcast.
that show.
Me too. I went down in LA and asked a couple questions on it back in the day.
I saw that on your Instagram story or
That was
something
so
like
cool,
that.
and then so I got to interview Don Jamieson after that. I asked all 3 to come by my show, and Don said yes, and I was so excited, but,
Oh
Eddie
wow.
Trunk talked about them a lot, so I just was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm not worthy like Wayne's World," when I got there, but I tried to act cool, but I had a Monster Energy drink, so I was also like, "Eh," but it's
Yeah.
fine. I think they like it when we get nervous, though, still, like, they know we're humans that are like I'm
Yeah.
a fan of music,
Yeah.
first
Me
most.
too. Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Yeah, like from a very young age and shit like that. I remember listening to like Kiss and Alice Cooper for the first time when I was young. That
Yeah.
changed my life.
Me too. I love shock rock. I loved a good, like, value shock, like Kiss and, yeah, Alice Cooper, The Blood. I love Marilyn Manson, like, in this moment later on, but, and then I got really into hair metal growing up because, my
Yeah,
dad played, Motley Crue and AC/DC and Van Halen, and so I loved all those bands. What got me into Steel Panther later because that was just a party. It was like I felt like I was alive in the '80s again, raging when they performed.
yeah, yeah. I was sort of like that too. Like, I grew up listening to like Poison and stuff, and I remember saying to my last guest that I did had like a big giant Poison poster in my room, and my mom would be like, "What do you have? A bunch of women on your wall?"
Oh my gosh, because they are I will be I like androgyny, that in between female,
Yeah,
male line, like, I love it when men have long hair or, like, men wear makeup and tight pants, it's hot. I'm
yeah,
like, "Go for it."
and still kick your ass.
Yes, yeah, like, they're still a strong male, but they've got eyeliner on and I dated a couple guys where we shared pants, and I thought that was kinda hot. We didn't even know whose pants they were, we just swapped them back and forth.
That's funny. That's really
Yeah.
funny. Do you have a favorite guest that you've have like interviewed on your podcast or just in general
The
that
new
you've yeah,
podcast or, like, all together, even old
all
radio
together,
days? All
all
together.
together.
I mean, I definitely said recently, like, Weird Al and Marilyn Manson because I liked them when I was younger, but I would say even recently, I was really excited to interview the lead singer Dryden of Alien Ant Farm because I'm just a huge Alien Ant Farm fan from way back in the day, and I think they're an underrated band, and we had Terry, the guitar player, by my old station a couple times, so I've got to talk to him, and that's who I reached out to come by the podcast, but I'd never talked to Dryden, and he's so silly and goofy and couldn't sit still, and I just loved his energy. It was like he was a little kid and he was all excited too. So I think that was like a dream to interview him and I finally got to do it recently. So that was like a full circle moment.
Yeah, I saw that one too. That was good because I remember Alien Ant Farm back when they first started and shit like that. And I remember hearing Smooth Criminal playing
Yeah.
on the radio and on TV all the fucking time.
Such a good cover. I think it's better than the original. So and it put them on the
Oh,
map.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're actually coming to Australia. I think either this year. I think this year with CKY.
They are. And so I'm having CKY back on the new podcast.
Ah, rad.
Yeah. And then I'm having Chevelle, and I've never interviewed Chevelle, Sam and Pete.
I've
And
seen
so
them live.
Dude, oh, I've seen them live a lot, but I've never had an interview with them, and so there's just a lot of bands that I grew up loving in the late '90s, early 2000s. Like I said, Live's gonna come on when he gets off tour, Ed. There's a lot of people coming on the show soon. I'm talking to Puddle of Mud right now to get West by. I'm doing all my divorced dad rock, my little butt rock.
Divorce.
I need
I
Nickelback,
like
though,
that.
to let you know.
Nickelback.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the divorced dad rock, like, leader of the pack, and I feel like that's my age range, that's my main audience, so I need to get them all by.
Hell yeah. Yeah, you mentioned Live. Live and Incubus played just up the road from my place
Oh,
on
nice.
my birthday.
Did you go?
No,
No?
I had to work. Actually, no, it wasn't. I think it was 2
Oh,
days after my birthday. I think it was. I don't remember.
dude, I've
But
worked on
yeah.
my birthday too the last, like, 3 years. They're like, "What are you gonna do?" I'm like, "Go to work." That's what I do now.
And
It's adulting.
yeah, that's what old people do now.
Yeah, gotta pay the bills. I got a house and
E
a car. I gotta go to work to do this for
Yeah,
fun. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I love
Um,
Incubus too a lot. That was the first show I ever saw without my parents when I was 14 because they were really strict, so it was a huge deal. They let me go with some older responsible people that they knew to see Incubus without them, and it was my first, like, smelling clouds of smoke of marijuana and just watching people make out in the pits, and I'm like, "This is so cool. This is
what
awesome."
era was that one?
This was in 1999 that I saw them in San Francisco at the
So
War
that might be before Morning View came out?
God, I can't even remember. I know I Wish You Were Here was definitely they
Ye
put open that, but it was
Yeah, I
so
think it was the
fun going.
Morning View.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think
I had a
so.
wind-up camera. I know that. I was winding up to take photos and then had to go develop it at Walmart. Do you guys
Oh,
have
that's
Walmart
awesome.
in
No,
Australia?
we don't. No, we don't.
No.
No.
Fascinating. What's your big chain affordable grocery store?
Big change, we're either Woolworths or Coles.
Okay. Kohl's. Okay, we have Kohl's,
Yeah.
but maybe it's
Supermarket?
different. Yeah, but well, it's Kohl's sells clothes over here. I'm curious if it's the
Okay,
same
so
owner.
we sell food and groceries and stuff like that.
Interesting. I hear it's really expensive, because obviously shipping costs to get over to Australia. It reminds me a little bit of Hawaii from when I talk to people that it's just everything is at least $3 to $4 more to get it across
Yeah,
the pond.
it's fucking expensive, man. Like,
Yeah.
everything went up since, like, after the pandemic.
Yeah. Here too, though. I mean, California is stupid expensive, and then groceries are through the roof. So
Mm,
I need a second job, or so I need this podcast to blow up and make some money. That would be awesome.
yeah.
That's the
We can
dream.
help each other out. We help each
Yes.
other out, and
I'm
we could
all
be, like,
about that.
famous and shit.
Yes.
But,
Let's do a show.
to go back to the band Live and Incubus, yeah, my brother went and saw them, because they just played up in the entertainment center just up the road from my place. He said it was fucking amazing. I'm like, dude, shut up. But I did tell him to buy me a T-shirt, so he did.
Oh, that's nice. At least he
So,
bought you a
so,
t-shirt.
so it looked like I went to the concert, but I didn't.
Yeah. I love it. Live just this morning liked my comment. They just made new t-shirts. It's funny that you just kind of went on to this subject. So Live posted their new t-shirts this morning and I said, "Why don't you guys just make a t-shirt of a dolphin crying with lightning crashing behind it?" And then they liked it. I was like, "Yes. Okay."
You should get profit for that.
I should need to copyright that or something. I wanna those ridiculous shirts that are just super silly nowadays? I want just like a
Yeah.
giant fake dolphin and he's crying tears everywhere and this giant lightning bolts crashing because those are my 2 favorite live songs, and I got it. This has to happen now, especially if he
I
comes on
was
the show.
I was surprised I was still around until they made that tour announcement.
A lot of them taking big breaks. This is what's cool. I took a big break, and I feel like all these bands that I absolutely love took a big break. And then the last year or so, everyone's coming out with albums again that were massive, I'd say in the early 2000s, like 99 to 2004. These bands are releasing albums that are bangers again and sounding like they
Mm,
did 20 years ago
yeah,
and coming back. And I'm like, fuck yeah, let's go. Let's
yeah,
do this.
yeah. When I heard about that, but when yeah, Live and Incubus were coming to Australia and stuff and playing in Wollongong Entertainment Centre because I'm from Wollongong, so it's like an hour and 20 away from the city. And I said to myself, like, it's gonna be fucking packed and it's gonna be sold out.
Yeah, and what a cool
Easy.
combo to see together. They're both very chill bands, but with an aggressive chorus that you can break out on. Like, they just both have incredible lead vocalists that are
Well, do
great
you
live.
do you, do you classify Incubus as new metal
I
back in
wouldn't.
the day?
I would classify I mean, Incubus back in the day, I would even put them in reggae rock, like, with
Mm,
Sublime almost
yeah.
and Pepper. I know people think differently, but to me, they've got such a cool reggae vibe. I wanna go to the ocean and put on Incubus and, like, lay out, and live to me is just so emotional rock. That's it's like my
Yeah.
emo emotional I'm gonna get in my feels, I'm going through a breakup, or I guess I'm trying to make love to someone, make a baby, and put on live, and you're gonna for sure make a baby. It's so romantic. It's
To
romantic
life
rock.
when dolphins
Gotta
cry.
Yes, I'm like, "Oh, you're not pulling out. If you put on Dolphins Cry, you're gonna have another kid in 9 months. You're screwed."
Yeah. Yeah, you're fucked now, baby.
Yeah, literally and figuratively. It's coming.
Yeah, romantic rock. All I can think of romantic rock is have you heard of Billy Vallow, the singer
No.
from him?
Oh, I love him. I didn't know that they is he doing a solo project as well?
Yeah, it's
I
been
think of
around
Typo
for about a
Negative.
year.
Peter Still,
But
like, his is romantic rock too, or Manson to me is romantic rock. Like, if you like, Nine Inch Nails, I'll put in
yeah,
romantic rock, like, oh, okay,
yeah.
Bush. They'll make a chick get naked if you bring her home and you put that on your playlist.
Okay, I need to write that down.
You write that, make notes.
Yeah, fuck
What
yeah.
to put on the
Uh,
playlist.
yeah. Well, Billy Vallow, the singer from him, released a solo album. You should check it out. I'll send you the link when we finish from
Yeah,
here.
I
And
want
it's
to.
I saw him live this year, early this year, I think it was. And holy shit, because I've seen the band Him live like maybe 3 times already. So it's like my 4th time seeing Billy Valor live, and I'm a big fan. I just love his lyrics. They're very dark, very romantic, very just like, you know, all about breakups and shit like that. And I'm like,
Oh, I
this
love
is
that
me
too.
right this is me right now. Because at the time I was going through a breakup, and I remember the song Love Letting was one of the first songs I played to my ex-girlfriend at the time. He played that song live, and I'm like,
It
"Ah."
brought you back in your feels. Yeah. I've seen
Yeah,
him with Kitty in, like, '98, like, a long time ago, and that was really cool. I feel like I was way more into, like, shock rock and goth rock a long time ago. I was, like, a little goth, a Hot Topic kid, and I feel like now that I'm older, I've mellowed out a little bit more. I'll have some of that stuff on the playlist, but I'm definitely not as aggressive at this day and
yeah,
age. I've gotten into stuff that I think I teased and made fun of 20 years ago. Now I like, my more calm stuff.
yeah. I get heaps of friggin' DMs from people on my podcast page about their bands saying that, "Oh, go check us out. Let me know what you think." Blah 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 blah. And it's been most of the bands that they've been sliding into my DMs have been pretty cool, man. Mainly a lot of like the horror thrash metal style bands, which are my favorites. But like,
I love
yeah,
that, and,
like
like, Motionless in White, Ice Nine Kill, like, a lot of the
Ice
yeah.
Nine Kills are good too.
Yes, so good, and I know their attorney came on my show, Ice Nine Kill's attorney, Eric German, and I love him. He represents a lot of awesome bands. He's just like he's deep in the metal scene. But also I was gonna say, like, it's funny you get bands in your DM. I get a couple bands. I'm gonna do a couple album reviews again. I used to do that a while ago. When it slows down this fall, I'm gonna do that. But I get mostly dick pics in my DMs. I just get straight up dick pics, not a lot of
Really?
music. Hmm.
Why?
Yeah, it's kind of cool. I'm not mad. I'm not. This isn't a negative thing. I'm like,
Yeah,
"Thanks, you're supporting the show, man." You know, it's a bummer though. Usually the guys sending the dick pics, they don't like the content. Like they'll view my stories, but they won't like the podcast. And I'm like, "Man, if at least you're going to send some nudity, like the post afterwards. Give me some kind of, share it.
yeah,
Like it.
yeah,
Something
yeah.
more."
Yeah, that's kind of like that in dating websites, right?
Yeah, they're just like, here you go." And I don't like dating websites. I don't know if have you
Same.
guys tried them or I mean, I've tried them.
I
Trust
fucking
me,
hate them. That's how I
I
met
don't
my
like them.
ex-girlfriend,
Yeah.
and until I found out she was a psycho. But
I like psychos. Just a little bit of psycho, like a good amount of psycho. It's kind of
I
fun.
haven't. I've never been back on a dating website in nearly a year since after I met her.
Yeah, she scared you off of them? She's too
Uh,
crazy?
I just like I'm not wasting my time anymore. Like
Yeah.
going on these things. Like I'm a busy person. I'm a chef. I do this, and then I try to make time to spend time with my family and friends. So I've got a lot going on. So and
I feel you. I'm busy, but, like, also I love a relationship. I just got out of one 4
same.
months ago, and I really do love having a partner. I wish I could be that girl that's like, "Oh, I'm an independent woman. I like being by myself." I don't. I will do
Yeah,
it. I will wait for the right partner because my standards are so high, but for sure, am I looking? And I will say the podcast, I'm back in touch with some hot rockers. I'm like, "Uh-oh, this is scaring me." I'm kinda, like, dipping back into the rock pool, and that's not doesn't really work, right? Because they all live in LA
yeah,
or New York, and it's far away, and I work, so it's not like I can move really, so I but I'm having fun right now, but I for
yeah,
sure wanna settle down again.
yeah. I'm happy being single.
Yeah, you're good. Most men, I think, do better with it than women, is
Mm,
what I've
yeah,
experienced.
yeah. I just like it's nice to have somebody around, like what you were saying, and like do fun things together and all that type of things. But then, after you go through a breakup, you need time to heal.
Yes.
It
Yeah.
took me like 7 months.
I think I'm just got healed. Like it's
Y-
for 3 months I was like, "Meh." I'm glad I started the podcast. It kept my mind off of things. And then this
Yeah,
last month, I feel neutral. Like I literally don't play the song and think about him, that whole thing. I'm like, "Nah, I really don't care." I think it was great that we broke up and I'm off to better, cooler rock stars. So, it's it's a good thing.
yeah, yeah. After I think it was after when she broke up with me, just like out of nowhere.
I'm
Um,
sorry.
Not my problem. It's her problem, not mine.
Yeah,
It's
no, it's her loss. Think of it like that,
yeah,
and it is weird if it's out of nowhere, though. I feel like usually a breakup I've always been like, "Hey, it's coming," or warning you, "I'd like this to change. Please do this," and I just feel like with my ex, I let so much slide for literally years, and I just was like, "Please be a good person, post me on
mm,
your social media." I never thought I'd have that issue. I had an
yeah.
issue, he wouldn't post me on his social media. And so obviously he wanted
Oh,
to look single. He was caught in lies and dating other girls, and he was just the worst, like the
yeah,
worst person. And I don't know why I kept like putting up with it and forgiving his apologies and taking him back. That's another thing too. I've never been so on and off like I was in my last one. If you break up, stay broken up. Like don't get back
yeah,
together. There's a reason y'all broke up.
yeah, yeah. She broke up with me almost a year ago. I think it was almost a year ago, and I started this podcast not long afterwards.
That's
So
funny. That's funny. It's
yeah,
it's like a healing thing. It's like you can just
it
talk to
is.
people and have fun, get back out there, and it brings me a lot of joy to honestly
Yeah,
podcast and be on others. It's really fun.
it is. Yeah, and we tried like being friends and all that
No, you
shit.
can't do it. I can't do
Yeah,
it.
I know it took me a while, but then like yeah, it kind of got weird. Then we hung out one day, and then she lied to me. She was saying that goes, "Oh, I don't know, I'll be going back. I don't know if I'll be going, go back into dating." And I kid you not, I know we're recording this right now, but I don't give a fuck because it's my podcast. But
Yeah.
like, I remember on my birthday, I was scrolling through Instagram, and then I saw one of a post, and I was flicking through the pictures, and then she was with another guy.
See, like, and I can't be friends, even if people go, I'm not jealous, I'm open, they can move on. I
Mm,
don't want to see someone that I was intimately involved with someone new. I just don't. And I have so
yeah.
many friends that I haven't dated. I don't need to have a
Hmm.
friend that I dated. Like, I have lots of
Yeah.
friends that I haven't had sex with, and that's great. I'm a territorial person. I wouldn't say jealous, but when it's mine, it's mine. And I don't want to see somebody
Yeah.
else touching it when it's not mine. Like, no,
Exactly. Yeah.
no, thank you.
Exactly.
I
Yeah.
don't, I'm good.
And then I just went silent on her, and then I think it was after Chris. I think it was. after Christmas or whatever it is. I just like, oh, Merry Christmas for yesterday. So why don't you unfollow me on Instagram?
Weird.
Yeah, yeah. And
I
then
will
she
say
made up a
though, if I unfollow you or I mute you, I really liked you. I'll be honest.
yeah.
That's what that means. Like, because if I don't really care, I will leave you on my follow. I will leave you unmuted, But if I really
Mm,
dig you, I don't know. Like, I met a guy and I only spent a weekend with him. This is really embarrassing, but I have always been open and honest. And I got really into him after just one weekend. I think I'm also just emotionally available and ready to settle down, not like I used to be. And
yeah.
I muted him because I don't wanna watch his stories all the time, and it's just, like, it's not realistic because he lives far away, but if I like you, I'm like, "I'm gonna mute you."
Okay, I've got to write that one down too.
It's a weird thing, it's a weird but I'm like, "I'm so into you, I don't wanna watch your stories all the time," and just be
Yeah.
thirsty. I gotta start moving on to something more realistic too than somebody that lives far away. I can't do long distance.
Nah, fuck that.
I need quality time, physical touch. Those are my love languages. So I need someone here and now. I love that it's like Ghouls Gone Wild, but we're like talking about breakups and dating. I love that's like one of my favorite topics though. I'm out in the streets.
Oh, like I don't really care.
Me
Like,
too.
it's a horror show out there anyway.
Yeah,
Out in
dating's a
the
horror
dating.
show. Life's a horror show. When you go to rock
Exactly.
shows, they play horror shows. I agree.
Yeah. And then yeah, she just made up some bullshit saying that wasn't too sure what's going on, blah 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 blah. But I'm guessing we're still friends. I'm like, hmm. So I just played along with her bullshit.
Yeah.
Like I'm not dumb. Like I know when I know when someone is lying and telling bullshit to me. Cause I've seen it a lot over the years.
I
So you
definitely
can't
can
play dumb
sense
with me.
it. Or not even
Yeah.
the bullshit technically, but you know what I'm not digging? Because I like younger boys, and I feel like all the younger boys especially play games. They're like game players, and they'll be on their phone and they won't text me back because 'cause they're, like, waiting, or they
Mm.
wanna play like, "Oh, I may be free," and it's like, "No, you're available." So I just hate the games. I'm such an in your face, like, "Do you wanna hang out? When do you wanna hang out?" I'm gonna text back right away. I don't follow any of those rules that you're supposed to, where you're supposed to act, like, aloof and, mysterious. I don't do that.
Yeah. But then and then she ever since she came back to my work and shit like that for like for dinner and stuff with a group of guys and that, she'll be like ignoring me. And then I still remember like she knows not to talk to me when I'm like really busy. She started talking to me. I'm just like, just fuck off. Just leave
Yeah?
me alone. Yeah. uh,
Yeah. I my
Just
ex
leave
came
me
into my
alone.
work and, that's when I was still upset, I think a couple months ago, and I was just like, "Meh," but I talked to him a little bit, but now that I'm over him, I actually would ignore him completely if he came back in, and I
Mm,
hope he doesn't, but it's hard because I work in a popular bar, and so obviously people wanna come have a drink there, and,
yeah.
you know, I've met people there too working there, but also I feel like that's not a good place because it's usually men going to drink heavily in the day, and I don't want a heavy drinker. I'm okay with a drink here and there, but if I meet anyone at the bar, they're usually kind of an alcoholic. Too much.
Yeah. That's why I stopped drinking.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah, I
Congrats.
think I told you. Yeah, like 8 years now or something, 8,
Yeah.
9 years.
A lot of rockers that I interviewed years ago that used to heavy drink are all sober now. It's funny when I'm talking to them, they all got sober. I feel like
Yeah.
I'm one of the
I
only ones not sober. Like, I'm missing
I
out.
I think there was one guest that I had on, and I had, Sam Van Colton from Faster Pussycat on my podcast.
Yeah.
He's good
I
friends
love
with,
Faster Pussycat.
yeah, I've, like, sort of new to their stuff only because
Oh,
of
I've seen
Ace
them
Von
live a
Johnson.
bunch of times at the Whiskey A Go Go in Hollywood because they just play there a lot.
That's rad. And, yeah, I had Sam on, and he doesn't drink or do drugs or anything.
Oh, all those
Never.
guys, like LA Guns, a couple from Steel Panther, Motley Crue, everybody except Vince Neil. Like, all of those bands are sober now because they went so wild. I think it's interesting that I've been around a lot of drugs and alcohol, but that was never my issue. I never was like just massively the night went so wrong because of alcohol or drugs. It actually was fun. It was I mine is definitely rock stars. I would say that's my problem, or that's my addiction, is like hot guys in bands that are artists that are doing something cool. That is where I'm like, where are you? Where are you going? I like you. So, and
Yeah.
it's gotten a little out of control for sure, but not substances. I couldn't really take it or leave it.
Yeah, I can't hang around with people that drink that much because it just makes me feel like the odd one out,
I
and it kinda just
bet.
it makes me anxious a little bit and just like, I'm going home, guys. See you guys later."
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
And
It
I
kinda
like
cuts out the fun.
beer and wine and champagne. It's rare. If I have a whiskey and Coke, then it's some rare occasion or turning up, or when I visited LA again recently. But I normally just like a nice glass of wine at the end of the night, but nothing too crazy.
Yeah. See, it's for me, it's tea, coffee, water, and kombucha.
I love all those though. I saw Alien Ant Farm talked about, like, he's sober, Dryden, and about making a sparkling water or a tea or coffee because they used to make a beer. And I'm like, I would drink that. I would buy that. I love
Yeah.
tea.
Isn't it, like, funny now with all these rock stars that's been around for a very, very long time? Like, they're all getting into, like, healthy and, like, into health and nutrition and working out daily, and I think that's an amazing thing. I think
I
that's
do
great.
too. I think we have to, right? Because once we get into our 40s and our 50s, like, we have to take better care of our body if you want to
Mm,
live longer and be in better shape. I know I haven't performed burlesque for 4 years. I thought, like, when COVID happened and the group split up, well, I had a good run, right? Like, it was fun. I'm getting up there, and I'm so excited that I just got hired to do another show next week, a week from today. And I've been hitting the gym. I've been working out. I choreographed a routine, and I am so excited, but it's definitely a lot harder. Like, I lost a lot of my flexibility in the 4 years not performing. So I'm excited to get back out there, but I'm also like, I'm
mm,
older, my joints, I gotta, I want to just keep it going though. I think age is just a number, and I don't want to think like, oh, I'm this
yes.
certain age, so I can't dance anymore. No, my ass is still doing great in costume, getting up on stage. It's fine. I'm not gonna stop
Fuck
till I
yeah.
break something. Yeah.
Yeah, until you hear something click and it's
Till
like
something pops and I'm like, "Ooh, I need a new hip. Grandma needs a new
that's
hip.
why
I'm done."
that's that's what I've been doing. I haven't done yoga in a while, but I was, like, doing yoga, like, first thing in the mornings,
I used to do
just to
yoga
loosen up
and,
the
like,
body.
hot yoga. I liked it, and
Mm.
Pilates, but now I like to do my own thing. I like to kinda go in at my own time and stretch and work out and use the dance studio and just do, like, jazz and modern interpretive dance routines.
Well, have you heard of bleeding through?
Bleeding through during yoga where women are just bleeding through their pants?
No, the band bleeding through. Have
Oh,
you heard of
no.
one?
I thought you meant because I saw that, like, 10 years ago and it freaked me out. I don't know if you've seen that. Don't Google it if you didn't.
No, I don't
No.
wanna no, I'll
No,
be scarred
sorry.
for life.
I thought you were talking about people bleeding in yoga. So, no,
No.
bleeding through the band. No, tell me about them.
So, yeah, they're from I think they're from Orange County, um, California?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, um, I think they've been around since the early 2000s during that metalcore, hardcore stage.
Wait, why do
Their
they sound
singer
familiar?
their
I almost wanna
singer,
look them up now.
is also a personal
Bleeding
trainer.
through. Oh, nice. Well, Nick,
Yeah.
the lead singer of 311, he works out a lot and he, like, trains and stuff. Okay,
Oh, mad.
why does Bleeding Through look really familiar, yeah, but I don't remember them.
Yeah, the
Oh,
singer's
wait, you mean
jacked.
Nick. Nick of 311. Yeah, super jacked. A lot of well, hey, you either die, I think, or you get sober and take better care of your body. Like, there's 2 paths.
Yeah, exactly, right. So, I saw on your Instagram stories, not too long ago that you've met Joey Jordison from Slipknot.
Met, yeah. What was it?
So
Um,
and you
More
were,
than that.
yeah, and then you were on the last Murderdolls album, like, as a
Yes,
cover
so
girl or something.
dude, that was, like, so cool and unexpected and neat, and I gotta hand it out to Tracy Weedman, and I'm trying to get her on the show. She's the manager of Fortner, right now in Styx, so she's on the road, but she's a dear friend of mine, and Joey actually saw one of my interviews, reached out to his manager that then knew my friend Tracy, And that was the crazy way in LA that she called me. And I think I posted this on my YouTube and you saw and said, Steph, there's someone that wants to meet you. I'm not going to tell you who it is, but you need to go to this house, and sent me the address. And I was exhausted because I was doing burlesque in Crazy Girls at Hollywood. And I was working on my feet all night. And I was like, I don't want to go. I don't want to go anywhere. You know, when you just had one of those nights where it was really tiring. And I was like, I just got to go home. I text her and she goes, no, you are going to this person's house to meet them. And I wish she would have told me who they were. I didn't even know who
Yeah.
it was because, of course, I would have been like, I'm going to go home and shower. I didn't even shower, nothing. I'm like sweaty and gross and like just a hot mess. And I get up to the house and we just hit it off instantly and drank and hung out. And he was very kind of shy and like gentle
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
sweet. You know what I mean? I think it's funny because you see this shock rocker with a mask and stuff, but he was just such a gentleman. A
Yeah.
huge gentleman. Like, can I get your drink? You know, can I help you? And like I said the next morning, he said, go pack your bags and move in. And I moved in. And it was cool. Wednesday 13 was living in Joey's big house in the hills then. And so his girlfriend Chelsea, and so they were writing the Murderdolls album Women and Children Last. And me and Chelsea would just hang out all day and drink and chill while Wednesday and Joey went and wrote the album or had band practice in the studio there. And it was such a fun time in my life. And like I said, they were like, we're gonna go audition girls for the album. And me and Chelsea wanted to play it cool, but we were a little bit like, "Oh, we want to come. Like, who are these girls? Are they going to get
Yeah.
naked around our guys?" And then they looked at each other and cracked up laughing. And we're just so confused. And they looked back. They're like, bitches, no, like, you're going to be on the album. You're our girlfriends. And we're like, what? No way. And like, we freaked out and that was a dream of mine to be on an album for sure that I had never done yet.
Yeah. That's really cool, and also a very cool experience to be a part of that.
Really cool, really cool. And honestly, I wanted to stick it through with him, but I feel
Mm.
so bad. He was such a, a tortured soul. He's such a nice guy, but the alcohol and other substances, he just didn't know how to stop. He was 0 to 100. And I loved him in the mornings because he was sober and it was awesome. But then once about noon rolled around, he was just raging every day, like literally every day. And so after a while, it's like, man, can we have a sober day? Or like something
Yeah.
silly. I said, can we go be sober and go to In-N-Out Burger? I wanted to just go to In-N-Out Burger one day. And he didn't want to leave the house. And he's so famous and so well known. He's been kind of rushed and gets claustrophobic when people have rushed to him. So you don't
Mm.
realize though, after like 10 months of just sitting in a house and ordering food to the house or ordering groceries to the house, I am social. I do want to kind of go out, or I just wanted to take him to Rat, that silly 80s band. And he was too kind of afraid to leave. So that was our biggest issue in the relationship is I just wanted a date night, maybe every couple months out. And
Mm.
I think his level of fame was so large and I didn't comprehend it at that time. He was like, we can't leave the house. And
Mm.
that bummed me out. I want to do date stuff still.
Yeah. Yeah, but then I guess that's understandable, especially if you're playing for like one of the biggest, I guess, new metal bands in the 2000s at that time, and your songs are getting played on the radio. You're on like, TV, music video, whatever, every fucking day. Of course, people it's got to, notice you and shit like that.
Yeah. What was I, 25? I think I was, like, a little bit immature, and I didn't understand the level of fame that he was, and I think also me working in radio and interviewing rock stars, I'm just like, "Oh, these are awesome, cool people that are great artists," but I didn't view them as a god, and not until I got
Yeah,
older do I realize there's people that try to, like, break in their house and find out where they live, and just there's some mentally
yeah,
unstable people that have
yeah,
freaked some of them out.
yeah. I remember getting that Murderdolls album, Women and Children Last, and I remember opening it and I see like two hot girls in it. I'm like, this
Shut
is cool.
up. No way.
Yeah, I actually got that album signed by Wednesday.
That is so cool. Of course, I've had Wednesday by the show a lot. He's such a nice guy.
He
Um,
is, yeah.
I worried about him when Joey died because they were like brothers. I wouldn't even say best friends. They were
Oh
attached at
yeah.
the hip. Like, I don't even know. They were just 24/7 hung out and enabled each other sometimes too, but they got along so well that I'm glad that Wednesday is okay. And I think him being a parent has helped him because that
Mm.
was his other half. That must have
Yeah,
been crazy.
Exactly, yeah. That would have broke him completely.
I'm sure he had a rough year. Like I said, I haven't talked to him in a while since 2013. I interviewed him last, but and it was hard too. All breakups can be a little hard. And so obviously
Yeah,
now I'm fine and healed and it's been so long, but I wanted Joey to slow down really bad and I actually wanted to stay together and I wanted him to just possibly get sober or cut back and he couldn't. So I took it personally at that age like, oh, he doesn't love me if he doesn't want to slow down. So I was really bummed for about a year after that
yeah.
breakup. And then we talked actually a year before he died. I had his email randomly. Like I got a new phone number and I didn't have any in my old phone, but I had his email still and I emailed him and we caught up back and forth for a little bit. And he was, like said he was diagnosed with MS. And
Mm,
I was just like, dang, that's great. It's insane. And you do wonder how much the drugs and alcohol and pills maybe play a part in some of these autoimmune deficiencies or problems that are correlation because I don't know. I don't know. It's just, or was it just random? Who knows?
yeah, yeah. Because that would have affected his drumming too, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I know there was some motor issues even in 2010 when we were dating. There was motor skill issues starting. And literally like all of the meds lined up on the counter in the bathroom say don't mix with alcohol. All the meds he's on and it's like very
Yeah.
dangerous. And he would and yeah, he was a tiny dude and he was drinking a lot, but
Mm,
I will say that
yeah.
man was good in bed. I'm not no complaints there. Even
Ton
how much he
ton
drank.
yeah.
He's he still performed. That did not hinder his performance.
A tiny dude with a big heart.
Yes, such a big heart.
Yeah.
Like, I remember when Peter Steele died, I was living with Joey, and he just broke down in tears on the floor, and, like, he was really close to Peter and loved Typo Negative, and so I just remember, like, collapsing my body over him and holding him and just literally, like, rocking him like a baby, and he had a hard, like, 2 days with that, and that's what's hard too, you don't realize these rock stars, a lot of their friends die, a lot of the tour managers and even, roadies that help them on tour die because there's just a lot of substance abuse and mental health problems, so they're
Yeah.
not only partying hard, they're losing a lot of people in their lives.
Oh, 100%. And, like, I bet, like, Joey being released from Slipknot would have killed him too. Like, would've
I mean, I know there's debate, but that he is the original member and that created the S and everything, and he says that, and I believe him, and I know Sean
Mm,
and him were always tight, but him and Corey clashed. I never was there physically, but I would hear stories later, and Joey and Corey would clash on ideas of Slipknot or, Joey's partying and whatnot, and so that was they didn't see eye to eye on
yeah.
touring and band and, image issues and whatnot.
Yeah. Because I think at that time, um, all hopes is gone. They kinda went through, like, a different direction with that album.
They did. I feel like they took a break. They all did a lot of, like, Stone Sour, Murderdoll. They did a lot of, like, solo projects. Even Sean the Clown had his Black Dots. Like, they did a lot of, individual stuff, and then I think it's cool. It's like we were talking about bands coming back together. You realize you had such a good thing. Maybe you took it for granted or you had some minor disagreement, and it's like, "Wait a second. The magic we had was because we were together, so let's try again, revamp this project,
Mm.
see if we could bring it back to life."
Yeah. I remember, seeing Joey Jordison live once. It was at a music festival here in Australia called Soundwave Festival. It's not around anymore, but Slipknot was co-headlining, and me and a group of friends just managed to catch Slipknot just before they're about to finish, and I think Sid Wilson was jumping off from the fucking rafters on top of where the lights was and shit,
Oh,
and then we just caught the drum riser from Joey Jordison when it was spinning around and shit. Just managed to catch that, and then I think it was either Machine Head or I think it was Machine Head was headlining that festival, so we had to, like, run from the other side of the stadium to catch Machine Head,
I
so
have done that. I've literally done, like,
yeah.
an interview too and packed my camera up on my backpack and ran to see a band, and then I was, like, 20 minutes later to see another band, and I'm just like, "Why do they make these festivals so big and spread out?" Like, I wanna see all, or I miss the days of like one stage because I was like, cool, I got my
Yes.
spot, I'm front row, I'm ready to go. And now Aftershock has, I think, 4 stages or 5 stages now. And I'm even like, I'm folding out the map and I'm just like, where the hell am I? Like, where
Yep.
do I go? I don't have a lot this year. Like I have a couple that I really want to see that I'm going to make sure I don't block interviews during, and I will for sure be, like Slayer and Slipknot and Alien Ant Farm. I'm like, I don't care what band can interview during these times. I'm sorry, I love you. I've got to go see, because this running joke that I've had that I really need to see Limp Bizkit. So I've worked so many shows where Limp Bizkit's performing, and I have a big
Ah,
interview, and I'm with a station. You're not allowed to leave. Like when you're with the station, you cannot do your own thing like a podcast and get up and go. So I can hear Fred Durst and I can hear Limp Bizkit and I'm a big fan and I can't see them. And literally I'll end with stuff and then they just end. So it's this now like long running joke for 20 years. I've been a fan of Limp Bizkit. I want to see them. I've been at all the shows and I haven't got to physically in front of the stage see them perform. So that before I die, I need to see Limp Bizkit.
yeah, yeah. They're one of the bands I would love to see live because they just look like they bring a lot of energy and a lot of fun to their shows.
Yeah. Did you see the Woodstock 99 documentary?
Bits of it, but
Dude, it's free
someone
on YouTube. You gotta see the whole thing because it was so wild and out of control and nuts, and I wish I was there and old enough to enjoy
yeah.
it. But Limp Bizkit, when they go on, that's when everything just goes nuts. Because yeah, Fred Durst energy. He's just got this great live energy, and people just start destructing and tearing down things and taking off their clothes in the mud. I just am like, I would
Yeah.
kill to go to that.
Well, that was like a new era of like new metal back then. That's
Yes,
when new metal blew
corn.
up.
Yeah, they all like new metal became a thing and it was a whole different sound. And they became like from grunge rock to new metal became top dog. And there was so
Yeah.
much pop out. It was cool to have these metal bands come out and, even like Creed and stuff like that, that sounds a little lighter now. They were still hard for that time.
Yeah. Creed back then was sort of like the Nickelback of hate.
Yeah. Yeah, no, but Creed and Three Doors Down, but you know what I realized? I think people were so jealous of instant success, and when bands had an album where every song was a hit with a hit chorus, people got a little like, "Oh, this is boring, it's all the same chords and stuff." And it's like, "Wait, if you're rocking your head back and forth and you're enjoying it, fucking that
Yeah.
rock, man. They're winning." Like, that's cool.
I find it funny that people would spend money to go to their concerts just to talk shit on them, but really you're still supporting
Yeah.
them.
You are, and even if you're talking shit about a band, bad press is good press, right? Like, you're still blowing them up, so
Yeah,
I don't know if I don't like
people don't realize about that, especially towards Nickelback. Like they'll be going on their page saying how much their music sucked, but then you're spreading their name around, and obviously
yeah,
people that never heard of them before is going to check them out.
right, exactly, and did you see the Nickelback documentary that just came
Bits
out?
of it, yeah.
Dude,
Bits
so
of it.
good, Netflix, you got it. Like, I felt bad for them. They actually
Mm,
did get affected by harsh words of people making fun of them, and, it really did hurt them that they were kind of the joke band, and then if you look at their numbers in the documentary, they're so massively successful. They said, "I've become a bigger fan after the documentary," and they've been through a lot of trials and tribulations, a lot of dark times, and they rose on top, and I've seen Nickelback. I saw Nickelback and Kid Rock, like in 2000. So it's been
oh, rad.
24 years. Yeah. There was strippers on stage topless in cages. I mean, it was like so cool. But I need to
Yeah,
see them again. It's been a while.
fuck yeah.
Yeah, that's when
Yeah.
Bald with the Ball just came out. So, it was like it just came out, and he had like the fur coat and the hat, and he came out of the stage, and there's just these naked strippers, blonde strippers on stage, and I was like, "That's what I wanna be when I grow up." I was looking up to the strippers, like, that is the coolest thing in the world, and it was such a good show.
Fuck yeah.
Epic.
Yeah, I'd say that. But, what do you think of bands that broke up and got back together after, like, like, maybe, like, 2 of the original band members passed away and start doing reunion shows with 2 other members? What do you think of that? For,
Well,
like,
it's
an example,
so
like
common.
Pantera.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Pantera, I was gonna say Chevelle, they had to kick one of their brothers out and hire a new guy. Alien Ant Farm, kicked out the bass player and drummer, and they got 2 new guys. I think if you're the main creator, or look at Motley Crue, Mick Mars is unable to perform because of health issues. So now they got John Five from Rob Zombie to come into Crue. And I'm a fan of keeping it going. You
Mm,
know, if we like the music, you like the band, and the majority of the band that created the band wants to still tour and still go, I say go for it, as long as it sounds the same. And usually the hardest thing is the lead singer. The only thing that does bother me, and that I
yeah,
usually like how there's 2 LA guns, say, and to me, Phil Varone is the only LA gun because he's the lead singer. I can't get behind when they change the lead singer because that's the face of the band, it's the sound of the band. Unless you're
yeah,
Sublime and it's your son, you know, and your son takes over, and then it's like, well, that's fucking so cool, and you're dead. So it's like, that's a whole nother, you know, ball of wax. But as long as it's just like the guitar player, the drummer or something, and no one's getting sued and everyone's on board with you continuing on with the band and you guys just didn't work to stay together, I'm okay with it. What about you? Is it hard when the lineup changes for you, or how do you feel?
uh, as long as the music still sounds good,
Yeah. Yeah, as
you
long as the
know?
vibe, the music's similar, and like, you know, like I said, with Alien Ant Farm, it's crazy. I think they sound the best they ever have. And here they have a new drummer, a new bass player. And so sometimes I think it could even elevate the band to switch it up.
Yeah, 100%. Um, I like, I do love what, Phil and Rex are doing with the Pantera name and getting 2, like, their best friends on the band, like Charlie and Zach, and, of course, Zach and Dime were drinking buddies
Yeah.
for a
Yeah.
very long time, and
And
that.
a lot of people are dead. So then it's just like, you know, come on, you got to keep the band going. So, you
Mm,
know, I feel like the like Lemmy and Motorhead, like how do you replace Lemmy and be the face of Motorhead and go back out? That would be almost impossible in my mind.
yeah, you can't replace Lemmy. Lemmy is
No.
God.
Yeah, he is. Lemmy is God. The new statue I just got to take a photo of in LA. That was so neat. But
Yeah, I
there's
saw
no
that,
way.
that's sick.
I was so sick, but Motorhead can't go back out. I think that
No.
would be a losing situation.
I think Mickey D or Phil Campbell said that they officially broke up after Lemmy's passing.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, I could see them do a solo project, you know, or do
Oh,
some kind of
yeah.
meet and greet or create a new project, but you can't recreate Motorhead without Lemmy.
Oh, yeah, like, he's the voice of Murderhead. He is Murderhead.
Yeah.
Without
Yeah.
without Lemmy, it's not Murderhead. I know a guy a few years ago, um, he was, actually good friends with the Abbott brothers,
Oh,
with
cool.
Diamond Vinny. Yeah,
Yeah.
so, I used to do this podcast called Pink Sock Podcast a couple of years ago as a co-host, and, he would come on our show. His name is Dan McNoon, and he always tell us stories about how he used to hang out with Diamond Vinny.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, he would tell us he would be, like, telling us all the wild parties, um, and he was just saying that, Dime just wanted to be like one of the boys and just
Yeah.
hang out and have fun, you know?
That's what
And
I'd
hearing
say. I
stories
think
like
I
that
got
is
shocked.
awesome.
Yeah. I got shocked to hang out with rock stars, like, in 2008 when I first got down to LA, but then after a couple years, it was like, "Oh, they're just normal people that have
Mm.
issues and insecurities like all of us, or they just all wanna drink and hang out and have real raw conversations and not feel like they're being videotaped or secrets are being shared," and all that good stuff.
Yeah, yeah. I find that with, like, some of the artists that I've interviewed on here is, like, super cool. Um, I interviewed Chuck Garrick and Calico Cooper from the Alice Cooper band on my
Nice.
podcast, and, I was sort of nervous because I've always been a fan of those 2 for a very long time, but,
Yeah.
like, once you get that conversation going, you just go with the flow, and it was awesome to hang out with those 2. I was gonna do them separate, but, they were, manager was saying that, they, were gonna rehearse for the new Beasta Blanco album that came out recently for, like, and shit. So, they s she said that, we can get 2 on for you. I'm like, "Really?" I'm like, "Yeah, we can put Chuck and Calico on your podcast, and you could do one big interview together." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm down."
Hell
So
yeah. Hell yeah.
that was really cool. And I remember my
I love
dad
Alice
watching it.
Cooper.
My dad, me too. I've met him, and
Oh, nice. I've never got to
my
meet
my
him. I asked him to come by the podcast a month ago. I haven't heard back, but that would be sweet. Your
he's
dad's
on
an Alice
tour right
Cooper
now.
fan, though?
Yeah, he got me into Alice. I blame
Nice.
him. Yeah,
He
and
he's a good
my dad messaged me saying, goes, "Oh, dude, that was a good interview." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm your
dude,
son."
that's sweet, and I love it when you can get 2 people from the band. I like to I don't like, though, the whole band. I don't know about you, but when I have 3, 4, 5 band members, it's really difficult for an interview because they all wanna talk over each other or someone gets ignored, and I know it's funny when the managers or PR agents say, "Hey, the whole band wants to come on." I go, "Man, can we get 2 members? Because two's cool, right? One's gonna be a little quieter, so one's gonna take over. It's not
Mm.
gonna be insane, but once you get 3, oh,
Oh, it's too
man, or like
much.
this it's just too much, yeah, and you don't know, like, who what are you gonna ask or someone's gonna get more attention than the other or, yeah, it's I don't like the whole band. I'm not a fan of that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm the same. And then, I start to stutter a little bit and get nervous because they're all there for your show.
Yeah? Don't
You
you
know?
can't get nervous. Don't show your fear. Just be like, "It's
No,
cool."
no, no. I used to get nervous at meet and greets because I used to fanboy a lot, but now I'm just chilled.
The only person I got
I'm chilled.
nervous for is Marilyn Manson because I had, we'll just say in a nice way, gone through puberty and got into Manson and had his posters in my room everywhere. So I was into Manson hard when I was younger. So when I finally got to meet him, I knew I wanted to tell him he was hot. So I was like really nervous and I was like,
Yeah,
"You're hot." And he goes, "You're not so bad yourself." And I just took that as the best, biggest compliment in the world, which is right. It's shit. Like it's not, but I was like, "I'm
yeah.
gonna remember this for the rest of my life, that I'm not so bad myself." I was just like,
Hell yeah.
"Yeah,
I
it's
um
ridiculous."
I remember meeting Alice. Um, it was during the Motley Crue farewell tour at the time. I got the meet and greet for Alice, and I was fucking nervous because he was like my childhood hero.
Yeah, no,
He
it
was
it happens.
yeah, he was like my superhero. He was my supervillain being a kid, while everyone was getting into like the Marvel characters and DC Batman and Superman. I was into like Kiss and Alice Cooper, you know, and meeting him was
I
amazing.
get you, like, I 100% know this vibe because everyone was really into NSYNC and Backstreet Boys, and I was so into Marilyn Manson, and he was just like my little leader and my god at the time. So even though I wasn't 12 when I went to interview him, I felt like I was 12 again in my room listening to him and looking at his albums, and I got so nervous. It's the only time I've gotten nervous to this day because I got back into my little fangirl phase.
Oh yeah, and I was a little nervous when I met Alice, but then it was cool. He signed a lot. He signed about maybe like two of my CDs and stuff like that. One of them was "Walking to My Nightmare."
Oh,
Album that he
nice.
signed for me. Yeah, I've got it framed. And the very first time I went and saw Alice, this is when Jason Hook was in the band in 2007.
Oh,
Um, I
shit.
still I still kept that ticket and he signed it for me.
That's sick.
It's a little
That's so
faded,
sick.
but like it's one of those concerts when you first go to see your idol for the first time. It's one of those ones you want to keep forever.
Yeah. Did you hit up
And he
Jason
was
Hook
cool.
on Instagram? Because he's, like, really on his Instagram, like, active.
I
And
could probably just send him a message after this, or unless if you
yeah.
wanna, like, pass it on or something
Yeah.
like that,
And just be like,
you know?
"Hey, Steph, just came by my show," and just honestly sliding into DMs. It's funny. I've hit up some PR agencies and some managers and some bands. I've slid in their DMs and I'm like, "Hey, we used to hang out," or "You've been on my show. Do you want to come by the show?" And they're like, "Hell yeah." So
Yeah. Oh,
sometimes it's about
I
the DMs.
100%. But, like, I would love to have Wednesday 13 on here. I think this would be a perfect fit for him.
Oh, this is so his vibe and his fans and everything. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. You gotta hit him
yeah.
up.
One day. I'm not too sure. I know he's just recorded a new out. I think they're recording in the middle of recording a new Wednesday 13 album
Oh,
from what
okay.
I saw
You
on
know what?
Instagram.
You're reminding me now. I gotta hit him up after this. I'm like, I've straight lived in a house with him, and I haven't had him on the new podcast, so I need to
Yeah.
hit him up and be like, "Dude, do you wanna come by?"
Yeah, I'll probably do the same thing. Then I'll just show him the picture of me and him when we first met at the meet and greet.
Yeah, and be like, "What's
Yeah,
up?" You know, I get shocked when people remember me. I'm like, "No way." I just view myself as this little dork, and I know these people go through hundreds or thousands of interviews. So I'm like, "Hey, I interviewed you 15 years ago on a radio station. You probably don't remember me." And I get shocked, like Weird Al's drummer.
yeah,
Yesterday, I'm like, "Hey, we're gonna go through the 14 albums with me and 2 other radio DJs that I love. I know you don't remember me. I sat down with you in 2011." He emails me back instantly. I'm talking like a minute later, and he goes, "Steph, I totally remember you. I love this interview. I'm coming on the podcast to do the album review with you." I'm like, "Are you fucking kidding me? Like, Weird Al's drummer remembers me?" I'm blown away, like, freaked
that's a
out.
that's a good thing too about that, eh? Like, I remember going to Nita Strauss's guitar clinic in Sydney. This is, I think this is maybe before the pandemic or something like that. And you get to meet her afterwards, and she knew who I was.
That's sick. That's
Yeah,
so
because
sick. You
after
know you're doing
I
something right, right? You know you're doing journalism right or your podcast right when they go,
mm,
"I liked coming on your show. I liked doing an interview with you," or "I wanna interview again." Because some of them are boring, some of them are lame, or they're asking, like, rude questions or technical questions the whole time, and people get bored.
yeah, and now she was really cool. She goes, "Oh, you were that guy at the Alice Cooper Motley Crue show," because I met Nita and Ryan at like the parking lot thing when I used to do that meet and greet parking lot thing. I'm like, "Yeah, I'm that guy." She goes, "So how you been?" I'm like, "Yeah, you know, same shit, different day,"
Yeah,
and stuff like
yeah.
that. It's the
Working,
same with
grinding.
the same with Chuck and Calico. There was saying that they were inspired to see me because, like, I've been, like, posting up guitar videos of me covering the songs on Instagram, and they've been digging it. So that saying like, that means a lot to me when they say shit like that, and, I try not to fanboy out, but, to hear Chuck and Calico to say that they were inspired to see me and come on my show and hang out just because, like, they know I'm a big Beasto fan and I've been posting up covers of their stuff. It's awesome.
No, it's really exciting. I'm always humbled and excited. I don't care how old I am and how many bands I've interviewed. When a band goes, "We really liked your show," or "We want to come back on your show," I still freak out. I will freak out to this and jump up and down when I get the email, like, "What?" Like, this is
Yeah,
so cool. I get excited for sure. I love music so much. It's the world to me. It's
me
my
too.
therapy. I'm listening to music usually 24/7 in the background, and I appreciate artists and people that create music and how much joy they've brought me in my life. So I just think it's such a privilege to be able to talk and interview people that I admire.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. I'm the same thing as well. Music's helped me to go through a lot. We've all
Yeah,
had our ups and downs, but music's always going to be there for you. I've been really
100%.
digging. I've been digging. Ghost. New concert film that they released.
I
So a
saw
big Ghost
that.
fan.
Yeah.
Fucking
No, really
amazing.
cool. They're fucking
I
so cool.
watched.
And you said, look at my wedding. I'm married to music on my wedding finger. So it's a music
That's
note. So I joke like I'm married to
that's
music.
cool. That's
That's
fucking
my
awesome.
one true love, that you said, like, right, never goes away. But
I
yeah, dude,
have
Ghost
a.
is badass. Oh, nice. You are a big fan. I saw them live last in 2018 at Aftershock, I believe, and I was bummed though, they gave them an early time slot, and you know how, like,
Ah,
they have great lights and, like, their show is such a good presentation, so I just feel like it wasn't as great as when I saw them in, like, 2014 at night, and they had, like,
mm,
lights and dancers, and it was, like, creepier at night. In the daytime, I was like, "They're melting," Move them to a later
yeah.
time slot.
I saw them this year. Uh I think it was in October, early October, and it was the first time headlining Australia. So it's just like I got to see this band because, like, how often do you see big bands like that come back to Australia or anywhere after that?
Yeah. I was gonna say it's
You know?
it's rare because it's hard to get over there. I mean, I've been all over Europe and I've never been to Australia. I feel like that's such a big plane ticket and commitment that it's
Mm,
hard for bands to save up the money. And then I know the policies and even the rules and restrictions are all really strict. And so to get to Australia from America is not an easy excursion to do.
no, and it's very expensive. But
Yeah.
I was very lucky to go and see Ghost live, and, like, when I go to concerts, I like to meet new people and build friendships and stuff like that. But fuck, that concert was amazing. I cried.
Really good. You know, isn't that cool? I think it's so I last time I cried was 2018. No, 2015 Marilyn Manson. Like I started Coma White's one of my favorite songs and it came on and I just started crying and I love that when it gets me that emotional, but I haven't cried in a long time and I really think I need a good live music cry. It's such a good
Yeah,
release.
you
Feels
you
bomb.
bringing out your emotions out, and that's also a good
Yeah.
thing as well.
Yeah, I feel like hopefully everything works out for Aftershock this year for sure. It sounds good. And I think I'm going to be so grateful that I'm back in the game and I'm doing it as a solo podcast that I would probably cry during a couple of, like, at least during Slipknot. That would be
Yeah.
a little bit emotional for sure. But I hope they honor Joey or do something for him when they headline. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah, I think they did, uh, a few times with Joey and Paul on stage, like, they'll put their mask and costume in the middle of the of their set or whatever it is, and
Yeah, I've seen that, and
which
I
is
hope because
cool.
it's the anniversary too, I hope they do something kinda really big for Aftershock, like, it's gonna be such a massive people fly in from all over to come to Aftershock, where I live in Sacramento, California. Like, it's crazy, it's
Yeah.
gotten so big.
I thought Jay Weiberg was a good replacement, to be honest,
Yeah,
to
no,
fill in.
I agree. I mean, besides what, like, Dave Grohl? No, I'm just kidding. But, like, I think it's just such a hard you can't replace Joey. He really was the best.
No.
He really his talent was just freaking mind-blowing. Like, he'd sit there and be like, "I have a beat," and, like, 2 seconds later, he'd run into the studio and just create this, like, masterpiece, in drums, and so it's I don't know. You're just born that way, right? Like, you can't take lessons to have that talent that Jordison had. You're born with that.
Yeah, but, like, the Chad Gr the is it Chapter 5, the Gray Chapter? The comeback album, I felt like that was a solid album that they released.
I know, and it's weird how some albums don't do as well, and I think people sleep on them. I'm like, "Wait, this was
Mm,
really good. Why didn't the numbers represent how great the album was?" And or
mhm,
I noticed, like, I have weird taste, I guess, in things because sometimes the songs and albums I like are the ones that are the least popular, and so I go, "Maybe I
yeah,
just don't have good taste."
yeah, I'm the same. When I go to concerts, I like to hear the unknown songs.
Yeah, usually, like, I'm like, "This is my favorite song," and everyone's like, "What? What song was that?" Like, I don't know why, but I mean, I like some of the hits too, for sure. There's some hits that I'm like, "Oh,
Yeah,
this is a banger."
but, yeah, well, Joey and Jay's drumming, they're 2 different drummers, 2 different
2
style of
different
drumming.
styles, for sure. So you're not
Yeah,
comparing,
no,
them too much. Yeah.
yeah, um, let's get into horror movies now because we already hit that hour
Okay.
mark because we like to ramble because that's what we do.
I know. We like music.
So, do you like horror movies?
I do.
See,
Yeah,
that's a
I
good
do.
pickup line.
That is. Do you like horror movies? Do you wanna be my whore and
Yeah,
watch horror movies?
yeah,
Did you see the Scream Mask photo shoot I just did a couple months ago?
yeah, that's
That was
rad as
fun.
shit.
That was
It's
so fun.
funny
Me and
when
my
you posted
girlfriend
that
just did that.
well, it's so funny you posted that because Scream was, like, my first love for horror.
No, I was gonna say, like, at that age, so Freddy Krueger was my first. That's how Nightmare on Elm Street I got introduced, and I snuck to my friend's house because I wasn't allowed to see it. My first, like, oh my god, and then Chucky. So I'd say Freddy and
Mm,
Chucky were my first two I got really into on the DL. But Scream was my first, like, in the movie theater as a teenager. I'm jumping in my seat. I'm so scared. And I even got scared when the phone rang when I got home for like the next week or something. I'm
Yeah.
like, it's Ghostface. So, and I think it's sexy when girls get on the Scream mask and get in lingerie and bring knives downtown. That was really fun. But no, I love horror movies. The only thing is I can't watch them alone. I miss being in a relationship because I have to watch a scary movie with a partner and go to sleep with my partner. I cannot. I really get scared, and I really don't like to be in my big house by myself after watching a scary movie. I don't do that.
Yeah. Yeah. I was 12 when that came out. I think it was with 12, 13. Yeah, 12. And I got my mom and dad to get me that movie at the video store because I was underage.
Yeah, yeah, you got
I
to get
just
the parents
told
to do
them.
it. I even got
Yeah,
the
I was just like,
soundtracks. Everyone was so shocked too, dude, that Drew Barrymore died within like 10 minutes because she's such a massive name, huge, Hollywood actress. And they're like, she's not gonna die. They're not gonna kill her off right away. And so it was
mhm.
just started with a bang of like, this is so sick. And how many have they made now? 7, 8? How many?
The 7th one, I think, be
7.
coming out maybe next year or something. It's in development
That is
right
so
now.
wild. That is amazing for that franchise to
Yeah.
keep going and make that many. That's phenomenal.
I just think that's good that Nev Campbell is gonna be back.
Yes, she's OG. She is the face of Scream. She's gotta be in it. Do
Yeah.
you have a favorite scary movie? Oh, sorry, what's your favorite scary movie? Just kidding.
Favorite
Do
scary
you have a
movie,
favorite?
obviously Scream, but, I love the Saw franchise. It's a complete
Okay.
mindfuck of a movie,
Yeah.
even though have you seen the new Saw movie? The latest one,
No, I
Saw
was gonna
X?
tell you, like, I loved Saw. I thought it was such a neat concept. The first one blew my mind, but I think after, like, the 4th, it got redundant for me. I dropped off. It got like, okay,
Yeah.
kinda same it's getting too far out there for me. I didn't jump on it, but the first 3 I really liked, but I've dropped off from newer Saw movies.
Saw X tells you the story on how John Kramer became Jigsaw. So it's
Ooh,
like a
okay, I
prequel.
wanna know that.
Yes,
I
it's
do
quite
wanna know that.
interesting. Have you got Amazon Prime?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's on Amazon Prime. Watch it or something like that, man. I remember watching that in theaters and, because I thought, like, "How could he be still alive? Because he fucking died in the 4th one," or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And, but yeah, Saw X is like a prequel and sequel to the first one.
Okay, I do like that. I'm fascinated to see that one then. But like I said, I need a boyfriend to watch Saw 10. I'm gonna be too scared to watch it alone.
Well,
That's definitely gonna be
they just announced Saw 11 will be out next year, I think it was. I'm not too
that's
sure.
insane. That's so many. All what I love too is It and like both It's,
Yes,
like the original
yes.
Stephen King's It with Tim Curry. That scared the shit out of me. I bought the book in middle school and I read the entire book. And then the new It. So usually I'm not a fan of a remake. I love an original. And that's the only
Mm,
one where they're so different. I am not comparing them. It's like two different really creepy clowns. And the concept of it being like our scariest nightmare and how we view it and how it can change forms. I Stephen King blows me away every time, but I would say Bride of Chucky is number 1, Scream is number
yes.
2, and the
Yeah.
original It is number 3 for my top 3, hands down. I can rewatch those a lot.
The I like how they with the original It and the reboot, I like how they made, like, the clowns different because, like, Tim
Yes.
Curry's Tim Curry's was scary, but, like, Bill Skarsgård as Pennywise, he played that so well.
He would like Tim Curry was chilly, creepy. Like I love him as a villain, right? And
Mm,
in Legend and Rocky Horror and everything. But Bill's was like I jumped out of my seat. I saw it in 3D. Like I got the
uh,
chills. I was freaked out. Like there is nothing lovable about his character of the clown. Like it's
yeah.
just insane. And the makeup and the special effects, what you can do this day and age obviously helped enhance the terrifying aspects of Pennywise. But Tim Curry's Pennywise, it's just a soft spot in my heart. And I was younger when I saw it. So, of course, it freaked me out more. And um, I love writing that's incredibly deep. So the
Yeah.
storyline and the kids and how we're all awkward kids, and I was an awkward kid with an awkward group of kids, and they're one of the girls of all dudes. So I really just resonated with everything and how we all have a scary childhood or something going wrong in different childhoods, and you don't know what's going on in someone's house. And the entire storyline behind it is just phenomenal.
Yeah. Yeah. The book was fucked up.
Yeah. Yeah, if
The
people
book was
don't read
disturbing.
the book because I got it from Mormons. I thought this is the weirdest way I got. So, like, Mormons came to our house and they try to, tell you to join the church, and they're like, "Can we trade something? We'll give you something, you give us something." It's like a thing in the US. I don't know if that happens in Australia. So they gave me a book that I didn't know was Stephen King's It. My parents didn't know either. And I can't remember what we gave them, like maybe a VHS or something. And I ran to my room and my parents had no clue that it was Stephen King's It. And it took me a long time. It was a really big book, probably about a
Yeah.
year to finish it. But it scared the crap. I remember I had to sleep with my light on when I went to bed, like with reading that one.
Yeah, yeah. I finished it not too long ago. It took me a while to finish it, but yeah, it was a great book. But they're both great movies. But I also liked the Black Phone that Ethan
Yeah.
Hawke was in. That was the first movie that I got my ex-girlfriend into. We watched together. She hated horror, so we watched a horror movie together on our first movie date.
No, wait, you love horror and you dated someone that doesn't love horror movies? Isn't that
Yeah,
hard? I don't know. The older I
too
get,
bad.
I cannot if someone doesn't like metal music or loud music or, scary movies, I can't do it because I don't wanna
Yeah,
change who I am or what I
true.
like.
But that movie was really great because it had a bit of that Pennywise vibe to it.
Yeah.
That whole, child abduction like thing. I
Yeah.
thought that was great. But even like the psychological horrors are like my favorite because they really fuck with
I
your
love it
head.
when they surprise me. Yeah, when I don't know what's going on and it's a big, like, gotcha at the end, like the first Saw,
Yes.
when he gets
Yeah.
up from the ground and I'm like, "No, no fucking way." He was a dead guy in the room the whole time with them, and, like, he was the
Yeah.
guy and he took a pill, to slow the breathing or whatever, but I was like, "He's the guy the whole time." I love that, the twist and turn at the end, and Stephen King's really good at that, like, Secret Window, where you're just like, "What?" Or that where it's all in your head. What was that one,
Mhm.
Identity? Have you seen Identity where it's actually just his
I heard
multiple
of it.
personalities? Oh, you gotta see it, dude. And you think it's a horror film, but it's really all this psychotic killer's personalities in his head, and you're just like,
Yeah.
blows me
Y
away.
Jim Carrey did a horror movie called, Number 24.
Yeah, I saw that, but I don't
Yeah.
remember it, to be honest. I saw it a long time ago, and it was weird to see him as a scary character because 'cause I'm so used to him being funny and silly.
Same with Robert Williams. He was in a horror
Mhm.
movie as well.
He developed
Um,
photos, right?
yeah, yeah.
Because I met
But then
Robin
he brought
Williams.
Oh, no way. That's
Get
rad.
how random this is. I just think it's like the most random. I'm in San Francisco. I was with my ex-boyfriend and our 2 friends, and we're waiting in line to get tattoos at a tattoo parlor, and in walks freaking Robin Williams, and I go, "That's him," and my friends are like, "No way," and I go, "No, that's for sure him." They go, "Don't go up to him." So what do? I take my wind up camera and I go up to him and I take a photo with him that I have, and it's like just our faces, right? It's like super close up and funny. But he went to get his first tattoo, and we were at the tattoo parlor when he got like a Chinese symbol on the inside of his wrist that was he like patience, something about slowing down or patience. And he was so nice. He was so soft spoken. And he's like, "Yeah, I'll take a photo with you. Sure. Thanks. It's my first tattoo." He said he was kind of nervous. So I just thought that was really cool that we were at the tattoo parlor in San Francisco where he got his first tattoo. But and rest in peace. R.I.P. to
Yeah,
that guy.
yeah, yeah. No, that's right. I did not know that, but, like, shit, that's fucking awesome to meet
I
someone
have so
like
many
that
random, but I
with
live in
that attendance.
California. So I'll be on
Yeah.
like a lot of movie stars or even reality people, they're all in San Francisco and LA where I spent a lot of time. So when people are like, "How?" Like, I just told my friend yesterday, I posted Danny McBride from Eastbound and Down, and he's like, "Oh, I love him." And I said, "Man, he was at Taco Bell in LA one time, and I offered to buy his Taco Bell." And he said no, that I didn't have to. But they're just, you go to Starbucks and there's Selma Blair ordering a drink next to you, and you can ignore it or you can go for it. So it's pretty common
Yeah.
in LA to see those people.
Did you like the Halloween franchise? Like, did you ever
Not
get into?
really. I
Yeah.
liked the, what was it, Jason versus Freddy when they had that big fight movie, but I didn't really get into Halloween that
Mm,
much. I mean, I've seen them all. Like I was more into Freddy. Freddy really scared me because I think I had a hard time falling asleep by myself as a little girl in my own room. So the fact that then when I do fall asleep, he's gonna come after me. That was Jason didn't scare me. Oh man, he didn't. He was like a
yeah,
mama's boy that walked really slow, and I just didn't get into
yeah.
the whole. It just didn't get me.
Concept. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah. I love the Halloween movies. Like, I watched the reboot before I watched the remake.
nice.
Cause like, I love Rob Zombie, and Rob Zombie's a cool dude. I've met him once.
I do
But,
love Rob Zombie.
yeah.
But I'm
But,
a fan of his music. I do like House of a Thousand Corpses and a
me
lot of his
too.
work and writing. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of House of a Thousand Corpses, but, I like Rob Zombie's music, I think, a little bit more, but his just as an artist in general, he's such a creative, dark horror outlet.
100%. And, yeah, I didn't like what they did with the different timelines with, like, the Halloween franchise. They should have just kept it, like, as one big thing, what they did with Scream, but they
So
keep
they
making
kinda
different
jumped
time.
around?
Yeah, cause like, Halloween 3 Season of the Witch didn't have Michael Myers with it because apparently Halloween 2 was supposed to be the last one of the franchise because they didn't know where they were gonna go with it. So then Halloween 4 and 5 came about and just, yeah, made a different fucking time. There's, like, different timelines, you gotta watch them in order.
Oh, see, I don't know Halloween that well, so I didn't even know that that was a thing. But like I say, I never got into it. Like my friends would have it on in the background, and so I'd like kind of check it out here and there. It was on TV back in the day when I had cable and it was just on. But I used
Yeah,
to
the
rent a
time
scary movie every Friday night at Blockbuster. I'd get a candy and a soda and a scary movie and go home and watch it. Did you guys have
and what
Blockbuster or Hollywood Video?
we did have I think we did have Blockbuster. We've had Video Easy, like, all those. I missed, like, going to video stores and,
I
like,
missed
pick out your
that.
favorite videos and DVDs back then.
And then I could meet friends because 'cause you're in the same section I'm in. Same with music, like, we had Tower Records, and you'd go to Tower Records the day the album was gonna come out, and I knew in line I already got along with you because we loved the same artist, and we were standing in line to rush to get this album, which is like, who cares, right? You can listen to it a couple hours later, but we knew we were diehard fans because we were in line at the album store. We'd run into Tower Records in Lodi and pick out the same CD, and I remember being like, "Can I get your AOL screen name?" Because that was the thing at the time. So I got their AOL or MSN Messenger screen name, and we would go home and then talk about the album online and how much we liked the album. So I miss that. Like you can connect in
Yeah.
person with people that you have things in common with.
Oh, 100%. But now, social media does that now.
It does, but like you were saying, even interviewing in person, it's a little bit more close knit and special.
Mhm.
There's a little bit more magic in person.
Yeah, 100%. But, I do like the Chainsaw Massacre, Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies, which I got
Yeah, I
the
do too.
Leatherface
Oh
pillow on my
yeah.
bed.
Oh,
Yeah,
you just snuggle Leatherface, kind of hot.
yeah. I
You
I,
do
um,
him.
I have to it's a two-sided pillow, so there's one from Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, and the other one I don't know, Texas I think they're both from the first movie, but I flipped it over so, like, when I sleep at night, it's less weird. 'Cause at
Yeah,
least
it doesn't scare
it's got
you?
the no, it's got the makeup and lipstick, so it's okay.
Oh my god, you actually like that.
Yeah, and then I got Jack Skeleton 'cause I love Nightmare Before Christmas
I love
pillow.
Jack Skeleton. Look, he's on my arm too, or can you I have him as a cherry topper, his
Ah,
head. Yeah. Oh, we both got Jack Skeleton tattoos. You got it. I love Jack.
yeah,
He's
got
Nightmare Before Christmas.
Ghostface.
Oh, and you got the ghost face. I love I wanna
And
get a girly ghost face with, like, lipstick and, like, glitter all around it, just like a crazy girly ghost face.
yeah,
It's on the
that'd be
list.
cool. Should
Yeah,
get that done. Yeah, I
I
got
know.
the Jason tattoo.
You are on it, dude.
Yeah, I got
All
a
the horror
Metallica
tattoos.
flexing, um, got Michael Myers,
You are a
uh,
diehard.
and Alice
Dang, and The
Cooper.
Crow? Oh, that's Alice Cooper. I thought that was the Crow for a second.
Could
That's
be, yeah.
sick.
But yeah, I got heaps of tattoos. I think you might have seen my Stay Puft Marshmallow Man tattoo I got on my
Oh,
leg.
yeah. You sent that to
Yeah,
me, huh?
fuck yeah,
That's funny.
yeah, fucking love that. And my tattoo artist is like, I left some room on there so you could put Slimer on there, and I'm like, dude, I love you, but like, fuck,
I'm starting a
tattoos
Labyrinth
are.
leg because I'm so into Labyrinth. I don't know if you've ever seen that movie from the 80s with like David
Is that with
Bowie.
David Bowie? Yeah,
And Jim
yeah.
Henson. And so I'm doing like a Labyrinth leg for, and then when that's done, I'd love to do, like I said, ghost face. I'm running out of room. That's the issue right now.
Yeah, yeah. I try not. I always try not to go too much with tattoos, but you just can't help it.
I'm addicted. I can't stop. I have
Me
a
too.
Tiger King tattoo that I got when Tiger King came out on Netflix. I have Joe Exotic with a toilet paper necklace tattooed on my thigh because it was 2020. We were running low on toilet paper. We had Tiger King, so I had to do it.
That made perfect sense.
It really did. You know how funny? Like my friends lost it laughing in 2020 when I was like, "Hey guys, I got a Tiger King tattoo with toilet paper," and they're like, "What the fuck, Steph? That's me. That's very me."
That's random. I know a guy that interviewed Joe Exotic on his podcast.
I had him. We wrote back and forth, so we were pen pals. You have to pay to get him on your podcast now, and I just won't pay to play. I don't have that money to mess around. But back in 2020, I wrote him in prison, and he wrote me back. So we were pen pals for like 6 months, and then I would share his letters on a TikTok that I created, and that I deleted it out.
That's
But
cool.
it was fun. I just checked in with him. I'm a big fan of Joe Exotic.
Yeah, yeah. He's a bit out there, but hey, we're all like that.
Yeah, no, I like eccentric. I like out there.
Awesome. Well, Steph, thanks for coming on and hanging out with me for like nearly an hour and a half, but it's been fun. Thank
This
you
was
very
so
much.
fun. Thank you so much for having me, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. I gotta go out and party. It's almost nighttime here
Fuck yeah.
and get it
Fuck
going.
yeah. Well, no,
Yeah.
I appreciate your support. Thanks for reaching out and stuff like that. I do appreciate that. It means a lot. But where can everybody find you? Everywhere on
You guys
social
can
media?
find me Stef's Rock Show, Stef with an F. So, like it's spelled right here, STEFSROCKSHOW. And I'm mainly on Instagram because that's what I love, but I'm also on
Me
YouTube,
too.
Spotify, TikTok. I know I love the gram. It's my home, but TikTok and X and Spotify and YouTube. But I will answer the gram very quickly. And my email, Stephanie's Rock Show at Gmail. If you want to come by, you are welcome to.
Hell yeah. Awesome. Well, Steph, thank you very much.
Thank
Everybody,
you
make
so
sure
much
to
for
like and
having me.
anytime, man. I love chatting to you. Even like on social media, like on our DMs.
Yeah,
But no,
yeah, anytime,
it's
dude. We're
awesome.
in the same category, man. We're doing the same shit, so we gotta
Fuck
support each
yeah.
other.
100%. But guys, thanks for tuning in. Steph, thank you. Everybody, like and subscribe to her channel. Like and subscribe to my channel. Buy some merch. And see you all next time. Be kind to each other and stay spooky, motherfuckers. Peace.
Thank you.